Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Beatles Forever, the Beatles on this date. So let's see what was going on around the week of September the 2nd. And the first three stories come from the Beatles Bible. So the first story is the Beatles live at the Cow Palace, San Francisco. This happened on a Tuesday, the 31st of August, 1965. The Beatles gave two performances at the Cow Palace in San Francisco on this day. It was the 10th and final stop on their 1965 tour of America. The next story, George Harrison, The Apple Years, 1968 to 1975 box set announced. This happened on September the 2nd on a Tuesday, 2014. A box set containing George Harrison's first 6 solo albums is to be released on September 22nd, 2014. The 8-disc box set, The Apple Years, 1968 to 1975, contains remastered versions of the 6 albums originally released on Apple Records. The albums will also be available individually on compact disc and digital download. The box set also contains a DVD with over 40 minutes of video, a new Apple Years feature, and a bound book with essay and rare and unseen photos. Danny Harrison said, "I'm so happy that what we started a decade ago by releasing the Dark Horse Years is now complete with the release of the first 6 albums as the Apple Years. Some of these records have long been out of print, and so I cannot wait for music lovers to get their hands on these newly remastered versions. It's a very proud moment for us, and I would like to thank everyone who has helped us in any way to achieve this." Then there was a press release, London of September the 2nd, 2014. Universal Music Group and the Harrison family are proud to announce that George Harrison's first 6 solo albums, released between 1968 and 1975 on the Beatles Apple Records label, having been digitally remastered, the original analog masters for CD and digital release on the 22nd of September by UMG. Wonderwall Music, Electronic Sound, All Things Must Pass, Living in the Material World, Dark Horse, and Extra Texture, read all about it, are available now for pre-order, both individually in digipacks and together within the deluxe 8-disc box set, boxed edition, The Apple Years, 1968 to 75. Designed to complete Harrison's 2004 collection, The Dark Horse Years, 1976 to 92, the new box set features an exclusive DVD with several video pieces, including a new 7-minute film with previously unreleased footage. The Apple Years box also includes an exclusive perfect bound book with an introduction by Danny Harrison, new essays by award-winning radio producer and author Kevin Howlett, and rare and previously unpublished images. The 6 albums have been digitally restored and remastered at the Lurzon Mastering in Los Angeles by a Grammy Award-winning team of engineers, including Paul Hicks, Gavin Lurzon, and Reuben Cohen. Wonderwall Music, Living in the Material World, Dark Horse, and Extra Texture, read all about it, are all newly expanded with previously unreleased or rare additional tracks. All Things Must Pass includes the 5 extra tracks first released in 2001. The next story, 6 Beatles albums granted platinum status in the UK. This was dated Monday, the 2nd of September, 2013. 6 albums by the Beatles have finally been granted platinum status in the UK, following a rule change by the British Phonographic Industry, BPI. Many of the albums had previously been given no sales certifications, having been released prior to the Trade Association's formation in 1973. In August 2013, the BPI decided to automatically recognize sales achievements instead of previously relying on record companies contacting them to request the awards once a threshold is passed. The current threshold for gold disc is sales of 100,000 and platinum disc for sales of 300,000. 13 Beatle albums are to receive awards following the rule change. However, sales figures can only be counted from 1994, when the official charts company began keeping records. As a result, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band has been granted triple platinum status, having sold more than 900,000 copies since 1994. It is thought to have sold 5.1 million copies in the UK since 1967, and is the 3rd biggest selling album after the Queen's after Queen's Greatest Hits and ABBA's Gold. Help, Rubber Soul, Revolver, the Beatles' White Album, and Abbey Road have all been given platinum status. In the 1960s, the Beatles were awarded a series of gold and silver discs for their albums and singles, but these were mostly issued by the RIAA and other non-UK music trade associations. Next up is it comes from the Beatles Daily, and it's for the week of September the 5th, and it's a list of short events that happened on this date in different years. First up, 1961, September the 5th, performance at the Cavern with Remo 4, the Blue Jeans, and Jerry and the Pacemakers. 1962, Brian listens to the first acetates of Love Me Do at George Martin's office at EMI House, Manchester Square, London. U.S., the Beatles song I'll Cry Instead, 4th week in the top 40. U.S., the Beatles song And I Love Her, 5th week in the top 40. U.S., the Beatles song Ain't She Sweet, 6th week in the top 40. Next, U.S., the Beatles song A Hard Day's Night, 8th week in the top 40. UK, the Beatles A Hard Day's Night LP, number 1 for the 7th week. In 1966, John flies to Celle, West Germany to begin filming How I Won the War with director Richard Lester. His role of Private Gripweed calls for a haircut and a pair of National Health wire-rimmed glasses, granny glasses, which John will continue to wear for the rest of his life. In 1967, on September the 5th, there was a recording of the rhythm track of I Am the Walrus, proper first Magical Mystery Tour session. In 1968, Ringo returns to the studio. His drum kit is decorated with flowers. In 1996, Capitol Records released the Beatles anthology VHS video set. Over 10 hours of material made up the set. And then in 1997, photographic exhibition of Linda at the Museum of the City of San Francisco. So I will end the video here. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you haven't subscribed, if you could do so, it would help the channel to grow, as well as giving it a thumbs up. It's all a great help. And if you haven't clicked on the notification bell, if you could do that, it lets you know when a video is posted. More importantly, I want to wish everyone a good day and tune in again soon for another episode of The Beatles Forever, The Beatles on the State. Thank you. Bye.